everyone, in this video I'll be solving some of the SQL interview questions which were asked to me into the screening round for one of the companies. These questions, they were quite interesting to solve and they covered almost all the concepts right from the basic SQL to the advanced SQL concepts. I thought of bringing this particular video out and solving it right in front of you guys, and so that you can get an idea on how is the level of questions which you can expect into the interviews. So I've done some minute changes into the dataset also. The dataset is quite small, but there are some 4 to 5 different questions which I'll be solving into this particular dataset only. But the concepts, they remain exactly the same, and also the questions, they are exactly the same. So friends, do like this video and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'll be bringing into much more detailed videos onto the SQL concepts. So let us directly jump into our screen. So the dataset is quite small as I mentioned, but there are some interesting questions which you can solve here. We'll see that. So there are 4 different questions. I've just marked them into different colors so that it is easy to distinguish them. So the very first question, you can see here the maximum sales in each month along with the states which had the maximum sales. Let us explore the data set first of all. So into the column A I have the ID, into the column B I have the state name, into the column C I have the month name, and into the column D I have the total sales. So into the Jharkhand state, into the January month, 200 items were sold. Similarly into the Bihar state, in January month, 50 items were sold. What do I need to get from the very first question? You can see here. So I need to get the maximum sales in each month along with the state which had the maximum sales. So I want to get the month name. So you can see some distinct month, January, February, March data I have into my data set. You can see here to the very first column I want to get the month name. Into the second column I want to get the total sales which had happened, and into the last column I want to get the state name also. And this should be onto the basis of the state which had the maximum sales for the month. So friends, you can see I've imported or presented this data into the mycompiler.ir. I'll be solving this particular problem, the 4 problems, into the website. So I'll be attaching the link to this particular website into the description box of this particular video. So you can see I've wrote the entire query here for getting the table. So this was a small table, so I just thought of writing the query itself. So you can see I'm running the code, I'm getting the output here. So let us solve the very first question. So the very first question, it says to get the maximum sales in each month along with the state names which had the maximum sales. So we want to get the name of the state which sold the maximum amounts of unit into each month. So let us see how to solve this particular problem. So I'll just be writing the select, and after this I'll be providing the rank for each of the row. And onto what basis I'll be providing the rank? I'll be providing the rank onto the basis of sales column. So the higher amount of sales will get the rank as 1, the lower amount of sales will get a lesser rank. And I'll be partitioning my data set because I want to get the highest amount of sales whichever is happened in each month. So I'll want to get this particular data. So I want to partition each of my data onto the basis of the month name. And let's say for January month I'm getting a data, and here the rank will be provided. So whichever row or whichever state is getting the lowest rank, the rank as 1, that would be the state which sold the highest amount of unit. That is the state which had the highest amount of sales, and that is the data which we want here. So let us apply the rank function here. So I'll do a rank over partition by. So onto what basis I want to partition my data? I want to partition my data onto the basis of month, and then I'll be providing the order by clause. So onto what column I need to order my data set? I want to order my data set onto the basis of sales column, but onto the descending order. So which had the higher amount of sales, so that would be provided a lesser rank, the rank 1. So that is why I provided here descending. I'll just provide this variable name, and from sales I'll be providing here. Let's execute the code. Let us see what is the output which we are getting here. So I'll just run the code here, and you can see for each of the row I have got the ranking. So let's say the February month data I have got here. So you can see the ranking has been provided. So the row which had, or the state which demonstrated the highest amount of sales, that has been provided a rank 1. Really the rows or the states which had demonstrated a lower amount of sales have been provided a lower rank, such as 3 and 4. So friends, from this particular data I want to get the data for all the states or all the rows where the rank is equal to 1, because that demonstrates that the states have the highest amount of sales in each of the months. So I'll just do a select star from A where rnk is equal to 1, and I'll just execute the code. So when I'll be running the code, you can see for each of the month, January, February and March, because this data set, it had data only for 3 months, so each month I'm getting the states which demonstrated the highest amount of sales. You can see for Feb month I'm getting two values, or this is happening because both of these states, they demonstrated the same amount of sales. So that is why we are getting both the rows into our output. So the very first problem is solved. Let us move to the second problem. So the second problem, it says number of states with sales greater than 100 in each month. So let's say for January month, how many states had the sales greater than 100? For February month, how many states had the sales greater than 100? So we need to get this particular data. So I'll just remove the query from here. So how we'll be proceeding with this particular problem? So first of all, I'll be getting the state name, then the month, then the sales, and the next column I'll do a case when statement. So case when sales is greater than 100, then let's say I'll name this as greater than 100, else less than 100, and from sales table I'll do this. Let us execute this particular code. So I'll just hit the run button. So you can see for each of the row I'm getting, wherever the sales is greater than 100, I'm getting greater than 100. Wherever the sales is less than 100, I'm getting the less than 100 value into the next column. So I've got this particular data set. Now let us filter out the data only for the rows where I have greater than 100. So I'll do a select star from this. I'll be doing a filter thing now. We're using the where clause, so I'll just use a where, and where what? So where I'll provide a column name more than 100, and so where more than 100 is equal to, and this value, all these rows should be equal to or contain this particular string which is greater than 100, because we are only concerned with the rows which demonstrated a sales greater than 100. We are only concerned with all those rows. So let us filter out this data. So you can see I'm getting the data only for the rows which have sales greater than 100. Now let us try to get our final answer. So what is the final answer I want? So I want to count the number of the states with sales greater than 100 in each month. So we have got data for sales greater than 100. We just need to count the number of states within each month, whatever is coming. So I'll just do a simple, I'll just put this into a subquery first of all, and from here I'll just do a simple select. I'll do the state, and okay, let us do on to the basis of month. So the question is demanding to do the group by, so I'll be using the group by thing. So within the month, let's say for January month, February month, or the March month, how many states are coming within each of these months. So I'll be just be counting the states. So how many states are coming? So I'll just do a simple count, and this is my from, and at the very last you can see I'll just group by onto the basis of the month name, and that's all. Let us execute the query. So you can see within each of the month, February 3 states are showing sales greater than 100, January only 2 states are showing sales greater than 100, March only 2 states are showing sales greater than 100. So this is exactly the data set which we required. We required to count the number of states which have the sales greater than 100 in each month, and each month data we are getting, and also the count of the total number of states we are getting. So friends, let us move to the third question. So you can see I have all these sales buckets. So from the sales 0 to 100, I want to count the number of states which are coming. The second sales bucket is 100 to 250. I want to count the number of states which are coming, and with the sales greater than 250, I want to count the number of states which are coming. Let us start solving this particular problem. So I'll just write here select state, comma month, comma sales, and into the next column I'll be using the case when statement. So case when sales is greater than 0 and sales is less than 100, then what? Then I'll just mark this as 0 to 100. So you can see here they have provided the range from 0 to 100, 100 to 250, and more than 250. So 0 to 100 is covered when sales is greater than 99 and sales is less than 251. You can see some 100 values are present here, so if I'll not include the 100 value, it will be lost. So that is why I just provided here 100, so that I can get the 100 values and also some of the 250 values if they are present. That is why I provided here as 251. So then this should be 100 to 250, and similarly when sales is greater, okay, no other case is left, so I'll just write here else greater than 250. I'll mark it here and I'll provide this from the sales table. Let us execute the query. Let us see what is the output which we are getting. So friends, near from, okay, I'll just need to name this column. So end as, I'll provide this as sales bucket. I need not to provide this here. I'll just execute the code. So friends, you can see for each of the row wherever the sales is greater than or it is lying between 100 to 250, I'm getting all these values here. Now I have marked all my rows onto the sales value. As you can see here, whatever I had desired, I've got the output. Now from here, what is the output which I want? So I want to count the number of the states which are mentioned into all these sales bucket. I have demonstrated this. So friends, we can do one thing. We'll be using the group by function, and let us group onto the basis of the new column or the sales bucket which we have created, and we'll be counting the number of the count of the distinct states which are coming. So let us do this. So select, and this should be sales bucket, comma, I'll be counting the states. So this should be distinct state, and from this, and at the very last I'll be grouping it. So group by onto the basis of the sales bucket. So all these sales bucket, you can see whichever is present here, 100 to 250, 100 to 250, or 0 to 100, all these would be grouped, and then the number of unique states which are present into all these sales bucket, that would be counted. Let us execute the query. Let us see what is the thing which we are getting. So you can see from 0 to 100, only one of the state is coming up. From 100 to 250, 3 or all these states are coming up, 3 unique states are coming, and greater than 250, 2 states are coming. So friends, this is how we need to solve the third question. So I hope you are finding this particular video very much interesting, and these particular concepts are very much useful to show the interviewer all the concepts you are knowing, all the knowledge you have. So do like this video and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Let us move and solve the last question into this particular data set. See what is the last question. So it is saying that whether sales are continuously increasing month on month for each state, and we just need to mark this if the sales is continuously increasing for each of the 3 months. So you can see I've got here 3 months data only, January, February and March. So I need to mention here whether the sales have been increasing month on month basis for each of the month, or it is continuously increasing in each month. I need to provide this particular data. So let us see how to do this. All these output you can see. So I want to know, is the sales have been continuously increasing month on month, January, February and March. So into all these months, for a particular month, the sales into that month should be greater than the previous month. So I want to see this, if the trend is continuously increasing or not, or monotonically increasing or not. So let us see how to do this or solve this particular problem. You can see here we can use the lead function here. So for example, let us get the data for all the January month, and I want to use the lead function to get the data or the sales which has happened into the February month. I'll be getting into the next column, and similarly I want to get the data of the total sales which has happened into the March month, so I'll be getting into the next column, next to next column of the February month. Let us see what is the thing I'm telling, and I'll just show this here. So I'll be using the lead function here, and I'll be using the lead function onto the sales column over partition by. So I'll be partitioning my data set onto the basis of the state column, and then order by onto the basis of the month column. Should be the data for the February month, and similarly let us get the data for the March month. So I'll be copying this particular query here, and I'll just do some minute changes in this query only. So lead over sales, partition by state, all these are same. I'll just provide lead over sales comma 2 because I want to get the second row value, using lead sales comma 2 to get the second row value whatever is coming. And this should be the data for the March month, and from which table? From the sales table I want to get this data. Let us execute the query. Okay, why did I mention the from here? This is showing an error. So friends, you can see our data set has been categorized. So I'm getting few values here. So February month I'm getting into the very first, you can see the very first row I'm getting the February month, because F is coming before J and M. So I've ordered onto the basis onto the month column here, so that is why we are getting the data likewise. Let us do one thing. Let us order this onto the basis of the descending order. Let us see if we are getting some different output, and if the query will be easy or not. So yeah, this is the correct thing which we are getting. So you can see into the very first row I'm getting the March month for each of the state. So for Jharkhand I'm getting the March month, for Bihar you can see I'm getting the March month data, and all these data I'm getting. So this should be the data for the January month, because if I'll just pick the data for a state, you can see here March is coming, January is coming, February is coming. So January is coming below March, so this should be the January month data, and similarly February is coming onto the second row, so this should be the February month data. Let us execute the query again. Let us execute the query again. So friends, yeah, this is the correct output which we have got. So you can see I'll just remove the data set. You can see all these places we are getting a null value here. So let us remove all these rows. I'll be getting the rows where I have got the entire data for all these three columns, so it is easy for me to compare. So I'll do a select star from this, and I'll be doing where Jan underscore month is no, okay, I'll just be providing Feb underscore month is not null, and this would serve our purpose. And remove all these vacant rows here. So you can see I've got the rows which are all filled. If you look closely into all these rows, so this is for the Bihar state March data. So this is the total sales which has happened in March. This is the total sales which has happened in January month. As you can see, the second column is January month, and into the next column, the last column, this is the total sales which has happened into the February month. And we'll be taking operations from here. We'll be doing operations from here. Let us see To get the information of all these states where the sales in March is greater than the sales which has happened in February, and similarly the sales in February is greater than the sales which has happened into the January month, and I want to know exactly what is the state which is demonstrating this trend. So let us get this particular data. So I'll do a select star and I'll provide here some filter condition where January month sales should be less than the February month sales, and February month sales should be less than the sales like the March month sales. Mentioned here the from also. Let us execute the code. I'll hit the run button and you can see I'm getting the data for the Odisha state, because you can see the trend of the sales is continuously increasing month on month. In the January month the data is the total sales is 100, in February month the total sales is 300, and into the March month the total sales is 500. So you can see the trend is continuously increasing for the sales. I just want to the data for the state name only, so that is what I want to get here. So you can see I've got the state name. Odisha state is demonstrating monotonically increasing sales data. So friends, I hope you had found this video very much interesting. Here I've covered a lot of different concepts in group by some advanced level concepts, rank function, lead lag, and I've solved all these problems with the help of such simple functions. So friends, do like this video and also subscribe to my channel to receive such kind of information, and I'll be bringing much more different videos onto the advanced SQL concepts and also onto the SQL interview questions, the FAQs, the frequently asked questions onto the SQL interviews. So friends, meet you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.